Alrighty then, so me and Charlie are on the way to the lumber yard. We're just gonna look at some lumber and think some more about this project. I would like to build something quite inexpensive and not terribly heavy. In our town, if you build something smaller than 10 by 10, you don't have to get a building permit. And there are also regulations about putting a building a certain distance from a property line and different things like that. My thinking here is build it small, light, and inexpensive on one of those fiberglass platforms that my neighbor has. And if the town office ever says anything about me being too close to a property line, I can throw a chain on it and drag it away from a property line or whatever. That's sort of what I'm thinking about. So lightweight, inexpensive, and maybe that about sums it up. I suppose, thinking here, I don't know if it'd be cheaper. It might be cheaper to use plywood exterior boarding than 1x boarding, which would mean I would want at least 2-foot center studs. But if I'm using 5 studs per side on a 10-foot wall, that's basically 2-foot center anyway. That would be kind of quick and dirty, and then I could dress up the outside of it however I chose to do that. I'm going to think about that somewhat. Anyway, today we're going to, like I said, go to the lumber yard, and I'll basically be looking at enough lumber to frame up 4 walls and a roof. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay? And if I could do this by 3x2s, I know they sometimes have some 3x2 lumber there. If I could do it with 3x2s, I would. If I could do this with, sometimes they have lumber that's not quite 8 feet and they sell it cheap. And if they had a pile of that, I would also consider using that. So, let's see what we can find and see if we can find a bargain. It's amazingly good weather for this time of the year, and we're well into November. There's no snow on the ground. This time last year, we had a lot of snow on the ground, and we were plowing it. And right now, we still have pretty weather. So, I'm enjoying the pretty weather, and we're going to see what we can get done. Okay? Okay. Wee, Charlie, wee. We got to the lumber yard, and here's what we had. Y'all see the bear out there? They had 2x3s by 8s for $2 a piece, and they had this plywood in the back here for 15 bucks a sheet. So for 330 bucks, I got enough to build everything I need to build except for the roofing. And what I did was I bought some of this plywood so I can just lay down plywood for the roofing and get some of that rollout roofing and call it good. That stuff will outlast me, and it's cheaper, than putting a tin roof on there. Tin roof is pretty, but that rollout roofing ain't half bad looking. And it all fit in the truck nice and neat. This is a $300 motorcycle shed kit, basically. It ain't like the kind you buy down at Lowe's. So I'm gonna run home and grab on that big flat fiberglass thing that my neighbor's got, and we'll drag it over to my house and cut it down to about 10 by 10. I might make it like 9.5 by 9.5. That way I won't be over when the permit man comes to look at it. I want to make sure the whole thing's under 10 by 10. So I'll leave a little bit from my roof to hang on. We'll call that good. You hear anything I said? I doubt it. Charlie! Let's go home, buddy.